Hi everyone, this is Archangeli. Welcome back to my channel. So last time I did a quick unboxing of Mini Dollfie Dream Aruru, and I talked about the Volks after event for Dolpa 42 and the lining up and how that all worked. So I won't talk about it this time. If you are curious, you can watch the other video. And the other doll that was released at the Dolpa after event was Ranko Kanzaki from the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls. And this is a doll that I've personally wanted for myself for a long time. She was first released in May 2014 and super popular, sold out right away. I personally didn't win the lottery for her. And as with most things that are Idolmaster, Cinderella Girls, or Hatsune Miku, they sell out and are super popular, and then the aftermarket inflated price is usually really high. So I couldn't stomach it. I just decided to wait, and I'm really glad I did, because when Volks did their recent surveys asking their fans, what are your favorites? What are the best? What should we re-release? Ranko was on that list, and so she was released last December. And so here, let me just show you the box. This time, the box says, Ranko Kanzaki, the second version. And what's different is that the first time she was released in like a schoolgirl uniform, and this time she's in her kind of gothic Lolita outfit. I think this outfit was available for purchase at Dolpa 31 as a separate thing, and it was, off the top of my head, I want to say it was almost $12,000 just for the black Lolita dress set, or the Gothic dress set they called it. So this time it's the doll I want in the outfit that I prefer, and yeah, I was just able to bring her home in person, so that was pretty awesome. Let me head over to the island so that we can unbox her, and then we can talk about Ranko. So a comment I made in the Aruru unboxing video was that the doll boxes seem to be the same size, even though Aruru is on the Mini Dollfie Dream and Ranko is on the Dollfie Dream Sister. The cardboard boxes seem to be all the same now, which is fine. It just means fewer, I guess, components for Volks to keep in stock. So if we want to turn this so that you can see the artwork on the box. This box is just a pearl, like opalescent sheen cardboard. And here's, oh, whoops, we're upside down. Here's the price. So she was 66,000 yen. And I think this was the price before tax. Japan has a 10% sales tax now. So if you're a foreigner, always bring your passport. That way you just pay the retail price and you can have a tax-free purchase. Yeah. So let's get around to opening this. There's just a little tab here, and this just opens up. And pull out the doll. Oh, and everything has come out. Okay, so we'll just get that out of the way. Doll and things. Ooh, okay. So here is her pamphlet and her outfit all tidily packed, her parasol, her umbrella, and her wig. So she doesn't come with too many extraneous little packages. So here's the doll on the little cardboard sleeve. So the ribbons just unhook. And take her out of the plastic. Oh, the new vinyl smell. I love it. I love it so much. Let's move now. And we can do just a quick look of her face. So as I mentioned, Ranko was first released in May 2014. Her head sculpt is number 95, and she was sculpted by Misaki Serika, who was one of the Volks in-house sculptors. This time she's on the Dollfie Dream Sister F3 body, which is the improved body with slightly better posing ability, and she is in semi-white skin. I did say that she retailed for $66,000. Right now, actually, the Volks USA lottery is going on until February 10th. So if you're interested in entering the USA or the North American lottery for Ranko, you can. And she's going for $660 on the Volks USA lottery. So if you're interested, get on that. You don't want to miss out. And as I said, the Idolmaster girls, the aftermarket prices tend to be quite high. All right, so let's have a look at this outfit. And she's got pantsuit and her dress. Oops, I just dropped the silica gel, and socks that I don't trust. Sorry, Volks, I just don't trust your socks. And a little Bolero, which is lined in gray on the inside. The dress, oh, it's actually not a one piece. So there's a bustier and a skirt. Oh, there's two snaps, sorry. So this actually has a tulle underneath, but it's not properly white lined. So this makes me a little bit nervous. And I don't own the original release of this Gothic dress set, so I can't tell you if the original was done in this same way without a lining. And here we have, I guess, her choker, her neck choker, and her hair bows. Okay, so let's start first with underpants. I find it funny they package them separately. You know what, I'm gonna take this moment to grab some black socks that I know will not stain Ranko. That way I can actually dress her up completely. So hold on. All right, so I grabbed some black socks that Momo made for me ages ago. These are a little bit different from Ranko's default socks. They have a little bit of a trim on the top, but at least I know for a fact these won't stain. And that's quite important. So let's slip these socks on. And one thing I do want to say, Volks has gotten a bit better about choosing fabrics that don't stain their dolls. But I guess better safe than sorry, and many years of just being unpleasantly surprised by them, I would rather err on the side of caution. So yes, these are my own black socks. And they're just made of like a nice stretch jersey. Okay. And then we'll put on the rest of her outfit. So this is a very pretty little bustier with the lace and the ribbon trim. It is lined inside in gray completely. There's no black, thank goodness. And even the little garment tag is done with the pale yellow thread. So this just, it's a little bit snug. This is made to fit her exactly, and she's on a medium bust, so yeah, I'm giving this a little bit of a stretch along the top there to get it on. It's a little bit snug, but then the rest of it is pretty easy. Make sure that's lined up straight, very nice. And can do the Bolero next. I'll take off her hands just to get this Bolero on a little more easily. Sorry, I'm trying to keep things in frame. I sometimes forget, and then you don't see what I'm doing. Oops, okay, so there's a little bit of like elastic in the sleeves of the Bolero to give it that poofy shape. There is a lining, this gray lining inside, but you just have to kind of ease the sleeve on over these little elastic bits, especially over the elbow. It just doesn't want to slide super easily. So there we go. And this just, what is happening here? There we are. Just gotta give it a zhuzh. There we are. We can put our hands back in. All right, so next is her puffy skirt. And the waistband is lined in white, which, thank goodness for that at least. And this just does up in the back with a couple of little snaps here. Whoops, get that done. I do wish that there was a proper white lining underneath. The tool isn't gonna cut it completely if you're gonna sit her down in this skirt, so. Oh, so elegant, so pretty, love it. All right, next. Well, we can do her shoes next. So if you've watched my doll videos, you know I have a little bit of an obsession with doll shoes. These are really cute. These do up in the back with a little metal snap. Gotta be careful and get your finger in there. It's a very sturdy snap, and this wraps around her whole foot. I'm just gonna pull this tissue out. And the bottom of the shoe is like a pale gray or a pale white, which is a nice thing that Volks has done, because they used to put a black insole in the inside of their black shoes, and then when your doll was standing on it, over time it would stain the bottoms of her feet. So I'm glad they've made that change, because really, who sees it? What does it matter if it's black or white on the inside? So let's just get this on her foot. And then this crisscrosses and does this wraparound thing. And hang on, I'm gonna look at the other shoe because I feel like I've... Oh, okay, so the side with the bow just comes up and snaps in the back. Oh, this metal snap is, it doesn't make a very audible click. You just kind of have to trust that you got it in there. So there's the one shoe. It's cute. So yeah, let's do the other shoe next. Excellent shoe. So one thing I did notice in the Volks showroom in Akihabara is that they zip tie the shoes to the dolls, and then it kind of trails underneath the table now. So it makes me wonder if they've had issues with people trying to run away with their dolls, which certainly would be a terrible thing, but it was just something I noticed. So yeah, that's the shoes. And why don't we put on her wig next? Actually, no, let's do her little neck choker first, and then we'll do the wig. I am not entirely sure how, oh, there we are, okay. So her hair bows have these little bendy wires so that they can go around her pigtails. So this is similar like how they did Aruru's little hairpiece, which is kind of, it's quite clever actually, because clips can end up snagging in the hair in the wig. So this is just her choker. It's white lined, but not completely, so this makes me nervous. I won't let her wear it for too long. Hopefully it doesn't stain. And this just does up in the back with a proper hook and eye. I'm so used to Volks doing a hook with a little thread loop that it's almost a surprise to see the metal eye on the other side. Okay, so that's her choker. And now let's have a look at her wig. So I'm going to cut the little plastic connector. And this is a really cute silver twin tails styled wig. Sorry, I'm just looking in the inside for the other piece of that plastic. I don't really see it, so hopefully it fell out. But yeah, if you want to have a look at the wig, the twin tails are stitched on. There's a nice kind of a skin, what do they call it? Real skin part, a scalp. And yes, this is a really cute little wig. And it is nude on the inside, it's skin tone, so it won't stain her head. And because this wig is already pre-styled, I don't want to pull on it. Usually I put the wig on in the front and then pull to the back. I don't want to do that too much because of the way it's styled, so I'm just kind of slipping it on and like just kind of almost like a helmet, just getting it on the head there. So I'm gonna just kind of adjust this a little bit, but yeah, I think I did an okay job just getting it on the first try. Because it's so heavily styled with the way the back of the head is and everything, I don't want to manipulate it too much. Her fringe or her bangs are a little bit long in the front. Might need a little bit of water wax or styling stuff just to sort that out. But yeah, I really like her this way. It's really cute. Okay, and so next we'll get her little hair clips in. So these just kind of bend. And then these can just kind of clip. If I sit her down, you can probably see what I'm doing a little better, but this can just slide around the twin tail. Actually, let me open it up a little bit. And then you can bend the bows a little bit. Oh, that is so cute. So let's have a look at her parasol next. And I don't like how bulky the handle of the parasol is. If you compare this, it's almost the size of her wrist. I mean, when was the last time you carried around an umbrella that was the size of your wrist? But I guess they do this for sturdiness. And this just opens up, excuse me, the way a regular umbrella does. And it is really tight, but it does have a little latch that holds it open, just like a regular umbrella. It's quite stiff, and I wouldn't keep this open all the time because it'll stretch the fabric, and I don't want it to do that. But this is basically just an adorable little umbrella. All right, let's move Ranko into some better light so we can have a better look. So one thing I realized that I didn't do with Saber's unboxing last year is that she's also on the Dollfie Dream Sister F3 body, but I didn't really take it apart to show you what the insides look like and what's new. So I have this one apart so we can kind of talk through some of the pieces. The hip joint is different. I don't want to take the legs apart because I haven't practiced it yet and I don't want to break it. But with the feet, there's this little extra bit of plastic on the frame with a screw and a little slit in the frame here so that if you need to tighten it or loosen it as you need, you can do that. Also, I think the way that the vinyl is cut is a little bit lower. You see more of the ball joint, but this also increases the range of movement just a little bit. I could be wrong about that, but this is definitely a new feature that was debuted with the F3 bodies. Similarly with the arms, up in the upper arm, you can feel there's like a bulk to it, and that's because this same mechanism with the plastic and the screw is inside this frame. The lower arm looks to be about the same. You've got the double jointed elbow, and you have the wrists that both swivel 360 and bend forward, so these have the full range of motion. And then the biggest difference is the internal frame. This is really different from what was in the DD3 bodies, in that the shoulder here is very much reinforced. There's a lot more plastic, there's a lot more substance, because with the older Dollfie Dream bodies, you had to buy the aluminum rings because this had a tendency to crack. So now there's a slit in here for, I guess, for any kind of tension, and then you can adjust the screws as you need. And what's neat is that they have a bit of a floating ball joint now, so it can swivel kind of side to side as well as forwards. And this does it as well here, this piece that sits inside the chest and in the neck, see here? So you have a lot more range of movement because the neck peg can go side to side as well as front and back. I don't want to do too much and potentially break it because I don't know the full range of motion with this piece, but it's an interesting change, definitely a positive change and an improvement over the Dollfie Dream 3 bodies. So just some bonus thoughts. With this particular trip, I came home with 3 Dollfie Dreams. 2 were the Arls, and they were in the cardboard shipping boxes, and they had to go into my checked suitcase into the cargo hold because I was trying to keep them in pristine condition for other people in their boxes. With Ranko, because it was for myself, I packed the way I usually pack on trips coming home from Europe or Asia or wherever, where I keep my most valuable and fragile items in my carry-on, and everything else like my clothes and my shoes and whatnot go in the luggage. So I often get asked, well, how do you fit a doll into your carry-on in order to maximize space? Well, in this instance, you have to think small. I had a lot of stuff to pack. So this was the backpack that I actually used on this Tokyo trip. This is the eBags Motherload backpack, and I love this bag. I've used it on a whole bunch of trips. It's especially great when you're going through Europe and you don't want to be pulling a suitcase over like cobblestones and up and down stairs, because Europe isn't always the most escalator friendly the way Japan is. So this backpack is actually the size of a carry-on suitcase. It's deceiving because it looks like a backpack, but it opens up the way a luggage does, so you can maximize all of your space. And you can see this bottom half is completely empty. I usually have a packing cube with clothes, maybe some shoes, my toiletries and whatnot down here. And then up in the top, I had Ranko with some plushies and whatever. There's still a lot of space in this section here. So I've just taken Ranko apart. So here's her wig. Here's her bust with one of her arms. Here are her feet with the other arm. I did this on purpose so that I would remember which is the left and right arms. Her head is here. Her body is, or her hips and her legs are here. I probably could have made this smaller, but I'm not very familiar with how the F3 body comes apart, so I just didn't want to start yanking on this and possibly breaking it. So this is a big piece, but you could make this smaller. And then her parasol, her paperwork, and her outfit. All of this fits nice and tidy into this, small compartment in the backpack with space. And then what we did with her box, we flattened it. I folded all the little flaps inside and tacked it down with this yellow Tamiya masking tape so it won't damage the box when I take it off. And this got completely flattened, and I slid it into the lid of one of the big suitcases and just prayed that it would survive. Obviously it did. If you have cardboard or something that you can use to protect it, that's ideal. But yeah, that's how we brought Ranko home with all of our stuff, so that I could try to keep my most fragile and most expensive items on me. So I did notice a bit of a design flaw. I could not for the life of me get her to balance and hold this parasol because it's quite heavy. So they did have her displayed holding the parasol in the showroom. Hopefully with a bit of persistence I can get her to balance it. But in the meantime, here's Ranko looking super cute. I do love this black Gothic dress set. Cute little shoes. So I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!